Hey now, it's OmniDog from OmniDog's Vault, OmniDog's Book Club, and I'm here with Larry from Larry's Library. How you doing, Larry?
Pretty good. How's it going?
It's okay if I call you Larry?
I don't care.
Okay.
I, I've been called much worse.
Oh well, I'm not for me. You're my buddy, so it's okay.
Thank you.
Larry has a YouTube channel, and the link for it is down below in the description. And he is also kind enough not only to co-host the book club with me, but he sends me slides that I just plug and play, and it looks like I'm organized and everything, and I really appreciate it.
Fun to do.
Now we're off to a big start here with Kenny. Whoa, Kenny is excited. Let's effing go. Right on, Kenny. Um, there's Harvey. Harvey is such a great guy. Last night we did the collected editions show, Webhead and I, and I think the first 45 minutes we talked about ice cream, and that the chat was totally into it, so I was fine talking about ice cream because I love it. And towards the end, I discovered that there is something at Wendy's called a new Frosty called the Dreamsicle, and I had never had it. And I walked up from finishing the show, and at 10 o'clock at night, some guy is at our door dropping off a Dreamsicle Frosty that Cycle had sent us. And I said us because I did share it with upper management. I ate the majority of it, but I did give her a few bites. That's all she wanted. And that thing is crazy good. Wow.
So, have you ever been tempted just to talk about a food that you're interested in, just to see if he'll order it? I mean,
Well, he did Cycle. He's so funny. He made that. I don't know. Are you part of my Discord?
yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah. I saw that. Yeah,
did you see the Clash video?
yeah, yeah. I downloaded it from there and I sent it to Kristen over Telegram so she would
Oh,
see
that's
it.
right.
Yeah.
Telegram. That's right. That's right. That was so funny. I think one time we were a couple of months ago, maybe month and a half ago, we were talking about Neapolitan pizza, and junior management was here along with upper management. As I got done with the show, a Neapolitan pizza appeared that was gluten free because junior management is gluten intolerant, um, and a bunch of other things. So I don't want you to send me anything right now, Cycle. Thank you very much. You're very generous, but yeah, sometimes he just gets a inspiration and he'll send me something. And he has my address because he's also sent me a ton of comics, which I
Yeah.
have read all of Goiter that he sent me, and I have many more to read. I have to tackle Nate Garcia. Um, the books of Nate Garcia that Cycle sent me.
Right.
So Cycle, you are a great guy, and I appreciate you a lot. And I startled Kane here, apparently. I wasn't expecting the intro, and it startled me. Here, this is something that'll startle you. This is for you, Kane. Kane loves this. For those of you that missed it, here it is again. There we go. So good to see you, Kane. Here's Cage. Nice to see you. Mary Emma. Nice. Always nice to see you. Yeah, where's the ice cream, right? Yeah, I thought that would make you happy, Kane. Nice. Let's see. Chris is here. Of course. James, good to see you. Tyler Smith, good to see you. Ada says, can't wait to order this book, Judging on This Stream. And the book we can talk about ice cream all you want, but we do have a book club. And Arrowsmith, So Smart in Their Fine Uniforms by Kurt Busiek and the late great Carlos Pacheco. I'm happy to start talking about it as soon as you want, but I realize now, So Smart in Their Fine Uniforms, I feel like that's a reference to I don't think I had picked up on it until this is about the third time I've read it, but it's been a while since I read it. It's one of my all-time favorite books. But I think it's a reference to how good they looked ahead of time. You know, they're all spiffed up and ready to go off to battle, and it's still back when war was considered even though it was quite deadly, war was considered almost in a romantic way. There goes the young man off to war, and he's all dressed up nicely, and then of course they're exposed to the horrors of World War One, even though they had magic and they could fly and they had dragons. I had forgotten. Go ahead.
It was considered a noble endeavor, you know.
Yeah,
and that it didn't take long to lose that luster, though, for the people involved.
World War One was a grind. It was modern day war fought using 1850s strategy, and of course it just dragged on and on and on. And this book, I had forgotten. I think maybe I'd romanticized it in my head because it had dragons, and they learned to fly using a particular thing in their boots. I had forgotten how not gory. Well, yeah, it's like very realistic. It reminded me of how tragic World War One really was. It doesn't shy away from that.
It just gets right into it. And
let's see. Hello. Here to support my dads. Peace and love. Good to see you, Slayer. Kane checking in and saying this was an amazing book. That's good to hear.
Did you catch the thing with his name? His name is Arrowsmith, and his first name is Fletcher. And an Arrowsmith is someone that makes arrows, and so is a Fletcher.
Oh, how did you pick up on that?
Well, because I'm a medieval weapons buff and D&D and all that, so that's the only reason I do, probably.
Oh, wow. Okay, wait. So, this is important.
Okay.
Because I don't think anybody knew that. So say it again now.
So an Arrowsmith is like a blacksmith, but he makes arrows, right? And his first name is Fletcher, and a Fletcher refers to the feathers on the arrow, fletching. So a Fletcher is someone who makes arrows. But so it's.
Look at what I'm bringing you, YouTube. This is quality content. There's nobody out there but Larry that knew that, and Kurt Busiek, I guess. But I mean, come on, that's great. I remember there was a Sinclair Lewis book that I read in high school called Arrowsmith, and then of course your daughter keeps thinking that Steven Tyler's in this book.
Right.
But there's the real reason it was called that. Wow. That's remarkable. Good job. What other interesting factoids do you bring to this discussion today that maybe we don't know?
How did you like the thing with the wrappings on his legs? And they explained that was the skin that the mama dragon shed and when it birthed the babies.
Yeah.
And I think it didn't say that it strengthened the bond between the baby dragon and the flyer to have that skin on them. So they always put those wraps on before they would fly. Although that was pretty cool.
I thought that was cool. I love how they bonded with their dragons. I loved that they had now they did we can get into the nitty-gritty in a bit about because there is one question I had in here, and I'll have to find it before I bring it up. But I liked how they had the special metal medallion that they stuck in their boots that helped them fly, and then they had the dragon skin wrapped around them, and they always had their dragon with them. So, but it wasn't
there's a lot of unanswered questions with the dragons and all that, and I can only assume that they planned on exploring that, if as this was supposed to be an ongoing originally, right?
Yeah.
So you could have had a mini series just about the dragons and how they come to, figure all this out, that they could use them. And, because it only shows adult dragons a couple times, and it never delves into the process of, how fast they grow and what happens to them, after that. I'm fascinated by that. And unfortunately, we don't get any real info on that in this volume.
Have you read the second book?
I have not, and I started looking at it, and apparently it's only in trade.
Yeah,
and I don't think there's any Pacheco. Is that how you pronounce it, Pacheco?
I think so.
I don't think there's any of his art in it, so I don't know if it was done after he died or maybe he didn't have time. But it's really unfortunate that we don't have more Pacheco.
Yeah, because his art is glorious, and I'll show it.
I mean, it's fantastic.
Yeah, I'll show it in a second. And I love the way they worked in. Well, first of all, there were fairies, there were rock creatures, goblins, all these. And the United States was known as the United States of Colombia. And the rock creature came from a whole country of rock creatures.
And, the troll.
Yeah.
Okay, the chat is saying that Pacheco did draw volume 2. So that's cool.
He drew all of volume 2. Okay, good. That's good.
I didn't think he did, but that's great. So maybe we will see that hardcover eventually, I hope. But
yeah, and is this Image? Yeah, maybe I can read the second one on Hoopla before it comes out in a deluxe. They did, and Rocky was saying that the war had turned the gods of the North against them, and Fletcher could actually see them. But I'm getting way ahead of myself. Why don't we go over a summary of the book, and then we can get into what we thought of the book, and I can show some of the slides you helped me with. And Phantom Fool says there are even more unanswered questions at the end of volume 2. It ends on a cliffhanger. Okay, well,
yeah, at least this volume does have a nice ending. I mean, you could just read this standalone and you're good. The story does. Yeah, I thought it had a conclusive ending. I liked it.
Yeah, and I didn't really know that he was going to continue with it. But there's also the back matter.
Did you read all the back matter? Because I got to be honest, I didn't get through it all. There's so much.
There is so much, and it's about
all of the countries, the histories where they diverge from ours.
Yeah, I read some of it.
I read all of Busiek stuff, but I did not read all of the stuff about the countries. I kind of skimmed a lot of that. It was very long.
Yeah, but I think that after Atlantis, the Pact of Charlemagne, Three Kingdoms. It sounds like he's world building, this is world building, but that will
major detailed world building.
Yeah. Hopefully he's going to keep going, and we'll get to see more and more of this. But yeah, I got through about the first 3 pages, and that was last night. So I thought, I think that's enough that I can, but I don't want to. I mean, I definitely want to read it because I think that makes the history.
I got through more than that, but maybe half of it. But it was
okay.
Yeah, but it really gets into the nitty gritty of all of our history, the real world's history, and then he goes into every point of divergence, from here. So it's really thought out. I mean, he did bring in a second writer to help him, his friend, to get all the historical stuff.
That's right. Yeah. So this is a fantasy-based world where trolls and fairies and magic is real in this world, and they go off. He is they're in the United States of Colombia, so he goes off to fight in this European war. Although it's not called Europe. So do you want to sort of summarize it from there? After he went into, he volunteered and went into, he wanted to become he wanted to be a flying not an infantryman, because there is trench warfare in this thing. but
Yeah.
he wants to
Yeah, he
take
wanted
to
to
the
be an
sky.
airman, and he got his wish, and he took his a friend of his with him, a boyhood friend. They went together and they enlisted, and they were at least Fletcher was from a sort of a blue collar background, so he was not used to money or or anything like that. And he meets a girl. He meets Grace, and she turns out to be from a really rich family. So there's a little bit of conflict there for initially. And I'd say the first half of the book is about him uh, getting used to being an officer and getting trained in magic and learning how to fly and just kind of growing up, because he's really young. Busiek said he's 16 initially in the first draft of this, but I think that may have changed. Maybe he's more like 18. I don't know. It doesn't really
Okay.
say specifically, but he's pretty young. And the book, the only criticism I can really have of this book is it's the type of narrative where it just starts and it just takes off and it doesn't hold your hand. It doesn't say, well, magic's real and this is why. It just shows it to you as it happens. And I thought it did fine, but some people may not like that style, right? That would probably be the only thing I could criticize. I mean, I thought it was wonderful. I loved it. All of the characters are super defined, and you get to see Fletcher literally grow up in this time of war, thinking of it as this noble endeavor, and then he finds out that all of his superiors are not as noble as he thought they were, and all of the bad guys are not as bad as he thought they were either. He just kind of gets a dose of reality, and you get it too as it goes along. So,
And it's quite gory. It doesn't shy
yeah.
away from showing the horrors of World War One.
Yeah, it just throws you right in there, and you feel like you're in the trenches sometimes, or down in the blood and the mud. Yeah,
Yeah, or up in the air
right.
fighting. All of a sudden you think you're done flying, and all of a sudden, the what they call the Prussians all of a sudden start attacking.
Yeah,
I also thought it was interesting that it showed the inter squad conflict, from the sort of know-it-all bully who tries to shove Fletcher around, and it turns out that he needs Fletcher, and it gets resolved in a very organic.
they sort of bond a little bit, but it's
Yeah,
kind of too late. The guy's on his deathbed, but I don't want to give
yeah,
too many spoilers. But yeah,
yeah. We don't want to give too many spoilers, but yeah, they bonded in an organic way, which I thought was a good bit, because you have to
yeah,
be able to trust your
yeah.
comrades.
Now all of the scans I chose are from the first half, so there shouldn't be too many spoilers in the pictures.
Okay, so it is called Europe, and you see that Tejas, Dakota, there's North America is quite different. Europe is sectioned off: Prussia, Gallia, which is France, Britannia, of course, the UK, and Castile, which I believe is Spain,
I
Naples.
love this map a lot. This was the inside covers.
Right.
Yeah, I thought it was beautiful. I'd like to have that on my wall, maybe.
Yeah, it's pretty
That was
cool.
really well done.
Polonia, Lithuania, Khanate of Crimea, Bulgaria, Serbia, Ottoman Empire, Hellas, which looks to be Greece. United States of Colombia is. Oh, I see. Okay, I forgot. United States of Colombia is right here. This tiny part. Tejas is the big part, with California and then Dakota up here. So Acadia, Canada. So it's sectioned off a lot differently. It looks like half of the United States is
Yeah. And
Tejas.
if you look at the size of the countries, it almost makes sense that it would be done that way instead of America being as large as it is.
Yeah.
Compared to any of the other countries, really.
And let's see. Here we are where he's looking at the recruitment poster. And you see some of this art. Yeah. They portray the Prussians as devils and take a hand in victory. That's where the fine uniforms come along. And this is his friend Rocky, the giant rock creature from.
Yeah, he's a troll, and I love his accent. You know, with the V sound for all the F words.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Really well done character. I would have loved to have seen a one shot just of Rocky's adventures and his origin a little more. You know.
yeah, he's an interesting character. We think he's not
Yeah.
going to show up anymore, and then he does.
Yeah, that was great.
And here he is with his first. Wait, why am I getting that sound? Did I not quit Facebook? What the?
I was just checking mine. I don't think it was me.
It's me. Sorry. Okay, got rid of it. Here he is when he first meets Grace, or first dances with her at a function, and that turns out to be a really cool love interest. She actually has a lot that she brings to the party. She's got quite a lot of depth for her being a rich heiress and supplier of.
Yeah, that was something too I would have liked to see more of. You know, when she becomes an ambulance driver, she tells him about an encounter with zombies, but we don't see any of it. We just see it. It's just a few panels where she describes it, what happened. I would have been in for a one shot or a mini of just Grace and her encounters with the zombies. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so much here that we could have explored, or maybe still can. You know.
Yeah. Now, Phantom Pool is saying might be wrong, but I think Busiek said somewhere it wasn't going to be continued. Of course, he could change his mind. I really hope this is going to be continued because I think this is the beginning of a brilliant series. Let's see, slide 7. Now we get a good shot of the dragons, and he gets to go talk to his little dragon as they first start to bond.
And you can see his leggings here. And it's cool because they use it kind of as a comic book visual thing where, you know, you can see that every Flyers dragon is color coded to the leggings wrap, you know.
Yeah. Let's see. Where is that? Okay, wait. The Sidewalks of New York. Yeah, there's flying monkeys. There's big trolls. There's rock people.
There's some. I think there's some talking apes in a few shots too, kind of as background.
Well, I always love talking apes since this is
Right.
April. And they have to learn how to fly, and it's very difficult. It's not easy. And this is their first taste of what it's like in reality, where this giant serpent attacks their transport ship, and all of a sudden they're thrown into war.
Yeah.
So, and that's where, I mean, they lose people just as he's, you know, getting romantic.
Yeah, right away they have a death right away.
Yeah. And it doesn't, the ship doesn't touch the water. It flies.
I thought that was fascinating. That whole explanation there was awesome.
Yeah. We're not going to describe it because we want you to read it too out there. If you're just checking in on it to see what you think about it. This is a picture. Let me see if I can highlight myself. Show the picture of the. Do you have a picture of the ship?
No, I didn't get one.
Okay.
No, I didn't do that one.
That's fine. Let's see. So here's a picture of the ship, which glides on air just above the water. And there's a whole explanation of how it does that. And then there's a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And then all of a sudden, whoop, I'm talking. I didn't mean that to happen. There we go. Now, it attacks. And here they are, just thrown into battle where he's got to jump up, get in the sky. All of them have to jump up, get in the sky, and start fighting. And it's pretty realistic and scary, I will say.
Yeah, it's got some really tense moments, and I thought it was just really well done.
What's happening here? Okay. The full screen layout. What am I doing wrong?
Just add the slide back, and it should, by default, put us over on the side. I think.
Okay,
I think you lost the layout when you shared your screen, or when you went full.
man.
Yeah, just add it back.
The cat is here. Hello, cat. Hello, sweetheart. Let me see how I can get this back. Let me remove it. Add to stage. There we go. Hello, sweetie. How are you doing, baby? Okay, so here they are. They have to jump into the battle right away, and this shows you what the action is like. And yeah, Busiek didn't shy away from showing the horrors of war right away for him. It's not romantic at all.
It doesn't over glamorize, war. Like we're used to with kind of traditional stories where, these guys are great, and it's it hits you right in the face with all of the horrors and all the loss.
Yeah, you're right. And this is when
bridge.
Oh yeah, they're taking out a strategic bridge. He and his superior go off for a side mission. That was interesting. That was really cool.
I like that character. I can't remember the character's name now, but
his superior officer.
Yeah, that guy there. That was a great character, and I would have loved to seen him in the battle with the vampires. And that's all I'll say about it, because we don't see it on screen, right?
Right.
But I would love a one shot of just that. I mean, there's so much that happens even in the first volume that could be explored in more depth. And I'm not complaining. I'm just saying it's so good. You want more of that. You want these details.
Right. The Queen Lily has abandoned me, so.
Oh, okay.
I know. Sorry, Kane. She went back upstairs to find her napping spot. And then you can see here people in the trenches, guys in the trenches, and it looks clean up there how they're just gliding through the air with their dragons, and those guys down there looking up. But
I think they definitely have it better, and they realize it at that point when they see all those guys down in the mud, and
yeah, but there's no stranger. I mean, it's just as dangerous up there.
Right.
And what I thought was really cool. I'll save it for when I'm done with the slideshow, because I goofed it up last time. Okay, I'm done with the slideshow.
Yeah, that's the last
page. Okay, thank you for all those. I thought this was cool when he's in the infirmary to talk to his injured friend, and you see angels appear,
and it's just kind of and they don't bother to go into that or explain it at all. You just it happening, which I think is great. But
yeah, you just see it happening as she takes his hand. The guy next to him is dead, and she's there. And I really loved. You're right. I really loved that they didn't explain anything. It just was happening right in the background and was part of this really cool narrative where, magic, fantasy.
That page is a good example of the detail too. Look at the sheet there. Look at all of the folds, and I mean it's absolutely wonderful art.
Yeah.
I mean, if they did continue this, they would really have to find someone as capable as Pacheco.
Yeah, well, we can talk about who we want as our fantasy artists in the future. There is a pretty riveting something to do with the town in the enemy territory. I don't want to spoil it, but that really brought home that really helped bring home the horrors of war, what can go wrong, what they were trying to do, how deadly it can really be.
And there's another little sort of subplot that really doesn't get explored too much, but certainly could be, is where he sees boxes full of that orichalk, which is the material that the medallions are made of that they put on their shoes so that they can fly.
That's what I was going to bring up. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure how you pronounce that, but that material, I think it's a fantasy metal. It's sort of, I think it's related to copper, but I can't remember for sure. But that metal is used in the Skyrim or the Elder Scrolls series of games. And you can get armor made of that material. Not that matters, but I'm saying it's been used before, that fantasy metal.
And it's hard to find, impossible to mine. And then that was my big question in the book, when he discovers giant boxes full of those things.
And I think what it's hitting at to us, the reader, and he doesn't realize it, is that they're becoming cannon fodder after a while, because this war is so heinous that they have to keep pushing these young men through all this faster and faster with less and less training.
Right.
The machine has to be fed, because all these guys are just getting blown up quickly, and it's getting more gruesome as it goes on.
Right. And so I would assume then those were
I think maybe some of those were. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. You think what?
I think maybe it might even be. It's just speculation, but maybe those were recovered from their dead. So maybe they're not new. Yeah.
Yeah, because they were rushed off to war. Yeah, here's the panel here where he finds the big box with the letter that's unexplained. Let's see what some of the people are saying. Kane agrees. She's hoping that's explored. Ada says, looks good. I will order the HC. Too bad the second volume is only trade paperback, but I already have that in single comics. The original was in trade paperback, and the deluxe, I feel like this prelude is new. The Sound of Distant Guns, a prelude. I don't remember that in the first book. I could be wrong, but I don't have it, so I can't tell you. That's just my guess.
I feel like I want to get one of the single issues to possibly get Busiek to sign one day.
Nice,
because those are so much nicer than signing inside of a hardcover, because you can display your singles. If they sign the cover.
Yeah.
So a lot of times I'll buy a single of something I have collected just so I have something to have signed. If Kristen's watching, I know she's going, "Oh shit, he's planning." He's planning for me to get another signature. That's what
dragons are adorable. I love them. I wonder what happens to the dragon's emotional state when the bond is ended so quickly and unexpectedly. Right.
Yeah, I wondered the same thing. Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, and Kane knew it too. How the heck do you guys know this stuff? Wow.
We're just probably from gaming. I'm guessing gaming.
Okay, I know Kane's a big gamer. I do take stock in Fletcher's growth in the first book. His actions, the actions of war, especially that particular scene in the middle, and the overall heavy loss of life. Yes.
I thought it was really well done.
Sorry, I was looking for my phone to turn it off, and it was right in my... Okay. It's right in my pocket. Okay. The HC was originally going to compile volume 2 and 3 together, so the page count would be similar to the page count in volume 1. At the moment, we aren't certain about a deluxe treatment on 2 yet. Dragons, CNSS is here. What up, buddy? Good to have you here. Lars is saying an alternative series not being mentioned often is Rex Mundi, written by Arvid Nelson. Superb world building and a plot that is way better than what Dan Brown ever came up with in the Da Vinci Code. I do have a Rex Mundi.
I've never...
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's a whole series, I think, and I feel like I have the first trade. I'll go looking for that, Lars. That sounds like a fun series to get into.
Yeah, it does. I've heard of it, but
and a fan of who got bored when they started trying to give scientific explanations for the magic in the second book. Okay, we haven't read it yet. I preferred when they just let us assume it happens like in book 1. Agree. The art was fantastic. I think Dan Mora could do a decent job continuing this. I agree with that.
I thought about him, but his art varies a little. I mean, I always love it, but I feel like sometimes he rushes a little more than he should. Sometimes that'd be a criticism. I think maybe that I'm trying to think of her name, Nicola
Scott.
Nicola Scott. I think that might be a good fit here.
That's a good idea.
Really good detail.
After they finish Black Magic, then they can.
We're on the same page.
Yeah. Heroing is here. Haven't seen you in a while. Hey, Justin and Larry, glad I was about to catch y'all live. It's been a while since I've been able to. Yeah, I haven't seen you, Heroing. War is sadly like that. It has to constantly be fed with new and less untrained soldiers, especially World War I. Yeah. Now, I do want to address this because this is something about. In a previous stream, I mentioned I pre-ordered Absolute Adam Hughes. That has been on my IST wish list since 2019. Yeah, this was originally for 2019, but is now rescheduled for April 30th. Pre-ordered this on Amazon Netherlands. I'm going to be very interested if you actually get this book.
So is this a DC Absolute that just collects a bunch of his stuff? I'm not familiar with it.
It's all his DC stuff. And I added it to my wish list 2019 and haven't seen anything since. It's still there. It's my oldest wish list thing.
Yeah, I have a lot of abandoned stuff on mine too.
Yeah, I'm going to be interested if you really get this. I hope you do, and I hope it's available to us. You're certainly lucky if you do get this. And I do want to take a quick minute to just mention Organic Price Books. My code OmniDog gets you $2 off, 5% off shipping 4 more books together. OmniDog Sit. And I used my own code to save 5% because it was real money. I hope I get the Absolute. It's sort of a gallery book with covers and artworks.
I would like that.
So off topic, but Jess, I'm curious if you've seen the movie Mother, starring Jennifer Lawrence. It's an interesting thriller and want to hear your thoughts. It's on my list. I do want to see it. I haven't yet. And Comic Slayer says, get him to sign that yourself.
Well, I would like to do that, but we all know that you're more likely to reach cons more frequently than I will.
Future Kristen rant incoming. Kane knows because my dad taught me all of his archery knowledge when I was a kid and doing archery myself. I think that's cool.
You think you'd have to wait in a 4-hour line for Busiek?
The Prelude was in Astro City 1/2 issue. Okay. Best comics telling stories from World War I could be Charlie's War. I have that by Pat Mills and Jacques Tardy's War of the Trenches. I have a bunch of Jacques Tardy's stuff that I have not read yet, but I do have it. The HC has uncensored pages and some other adjustments. Domaticus, I think it's case medallions, a reference to World War I when the clothes were reused from the dead soldiers in the trenches. Ew, whoa.
That makes sense. I don't know a lot about World War I, so that's an interesting detail.
I honestly don't know, but I haven't read Arrowsmith, but it seems to me the Busiek took some inspiration from Anne McCaffrey's Pern series. I'm not familiar with that series, but I'd be interested in knowing more.
I haven't read it, but I've seen them.
You have? It's a comic book or a prose?
No, it's a novel series, I think.
Okay, well, we know I'm not reading that. Yeah, where have you been, Elon? Come on, man. Omnibo. Omnibo. I love this book. I wish the second volume was in hardcover so I could buy that too.
Yeah, me
Omnibo,
too.
I would love to have you on a show either Batterdays. I don't know what 8 p.m. my time is for you, your time. But get in touch with me on Instagram and let's figure out how we can get you on a show. I'd love to have you on. Archery. Most of your autographs are 4 hours plus lines, unfortunately. Sasmurf. Hiya, Jess and Larry. I just heard from my two good friends, Maniac Matt and Hondo, that they met you at Chicago at C2E2, and they said you were a very nice person. So that's good. It's very good. Good. Peace and love. I look forward to it. I volunteered for disability sports, helping the blind enjoy archery. We used bells. It was such an amazing experience for me. You can also get a hold of Jess on OmniDog's Vault Discord. That's right, where you can see the amazing Cycle Cleveland mashup video of me and the Clash doing Rock the Casbah.
I'm still waiting for Kristen's reaction to that. I know I sent it to her, so.
It's I showed it to Patty and I thought oh wait,
yeah, I think you posted on that on the Discord.
I also trolled Omar for you by referring to them as VFC. Thank you. Omar complained in a Facebook chat that somebody was talking about OmniDog's Vault during their panel. So whoever that was, if that was you, Sasmer, thank you. Whoever it was, thank you. Yeah, it turned out my wife did know Rock the Casbah, and I was like, what?
Huge
What?
hit. I mean, that was everywhere. If you were live during that time, you probably heard it a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, I was shocked, but she dug the video, so that was fun. And that's why while we were eating the Dreamsicle Frosty, and there's really nothing stopping me from going to get one after this is over. Oh, that was me. Nice, Sasmurf, my agent of chaos undercover. So we've talked a lot about it. What are your final thoughts and grade that you give this?
For me, it's 10 out of 10. I mean, I guess I'm an easy critic, but I can't really find anything here that I would change other than just more, you know?
Yeah.
But it does have a good enough ending that you don't have that gut punch that you get from some books that just stop, you know? So,
right.
But there is a lot hinted at that we could go into, you know, like I said, the encounter with the vampires, the encounter with the zombies.
The
we
history,
don't get to see
the history of some of these characters' countries.
Yeah, I'd like to see more of Rocky and his family. You know, maybe when he was young, that would be awesome. The
Young
trolls,
Rocky.
you know. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I think this would make it just a fantastic movie. Absolutely. What do you think?
yeah.
Yeah.
It gets I hesitate to give 10 out of 10 to anything. But this is one of my all-time favorite books. I can't think of I can't think of anything wrong with it, except as you say, there's not enough of it. And this could be a 10 volume series of 10 volumes that that could just go on with the world building like Lazarus and Rugged.
I'm glad it's oversized because, you know, when I ordered it, I actually thought it was standard and I was just going to get it anyway for the book club, you know. And then when it was oversized, I was really happy about that. But now after reading it and seeing how lush and detailed this artwork is, now I want it even bigger, you know. I wish they would have made 3 times as much and we could have got it in one of those giant library editions, you know.
Yeah.
I know I'm just wishing now, but
it's not a bad thing to be greedy about wanting more of a good comic book. I think that's a good sign.
Yeah, it's wonderful. And I think I don't know a ton about Pacheco. I mean, I know he died not too long ago, but I think he came out of the 90s. Is he a 90s artist originally?
I'm
I'm
the
pretty
90s.
sure he was. And the art here is so good. I mean, even the older art I've seen of him is good, but he's another example of an artist that just kept getting better and better and better. And by here, he's just mastered the whole thing. I mean, there's no, if anyone had any doubt, it's resolved right in this book,
Yeah.
And that makes it even more tragic that he's gone,
I know.
Yeah.
Another artist like that I've found, because I just recently read Under the Red Hood, and I also read Swamp Thing Green Hell, Black Label oversized, and is Doug Mankey, and or Mankey. The art was good in Under the Red Hood, but then in Swamp Thing, and that was 20 years ago, and Swamp Thing Green Hell, I thought the artwork was fantastic. It was amazing. He was a good artist under the Red Hood, but wow, Swamp Thing Green Hell he leveled up a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, I love when that happens because not all of them do.
Yeah, right. We have seen cases, and I don't feel like we need to name check them, of where an artist kind of goes downhill. They hit a peak and they just can't keep up to it with it. So I did see another great fantasy series by Busiek, unfortunately not finished, is Tooth and Claw. And that
I've heard of that, but I have not read it.
I have 2 trades of that. Is that Autumn Lands? I think it's in the other room, so I can't. Sorry, that's the first volume of Autumn Lands, I think. Okay, yeah. Name names. There he is. Trying to keep things positive here.
I was going to say that often that's just because old age, it happens to us all. But
yeah,
I can think of an example where it didn't happen. I mean, you look at Walt Simonson's stuff that he just put out a couple of years ago, Ragnarok. To me, it's better than anything he's ever done. So he's very old and he is still getting better, I think. But
yeah, I don't want to drag anybody.
Right. I don't either.
But we're trying to say that Pacheco and Doug Mankey both have gotten just even better as time has passed. So let's see, Tooth and Claw, Autumn Lands. Okay, yeah, I have 2 volumes of that. Larry is right about Walt Simonson. Sure, okay. There is some intention of continuing Autumn Lands at some point. Well, let's get going. I don't have all day here. Let's get Autumn Lands going and more of Arrowsmith.
Yeah, we're already turning gray over here, so
yeah,
we can't wait forever.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Let's go. Elon, you 2 age like fine wine as well. Each video and stream just gets better and better. Well, you are a sweet guy, Elon. Thank you very much.
That's awesome.
So is I try to keep these short so people afterwards, aren't stuck watching a 2-hour video of one book review. As much as I'd like to keep talking to you in the chat, is there anything else anybody would like to say about Arrowsmith? How much they liked it, how much they didn't, what they feel, strong points? Were you happy you read the book? I know Kane is happy she read the book. Larry and I are happy.
Yeah, for sure.
So this is, this is time I could be going to Wendy's and getting, my wife thinks she doesn't want one, but I may bring one home to her. Although this also means leaving the house, or I also could DoorDash it like Cycle did. That's the ultimate luxury. Yeah. You guys are making me wish I had read it. Okay, good. That's actually the point of book club, is to talk about books.
And this is still available, and it's not expensive. So
yeah, Saz, I think that you would really enjoy it.
Yeah, I think Kristen would like this. I think she would approve of this one. So maybe she'll read it. I don't know.
End video, start new video. No, I can't. Junior management's coming over here in a few minutes, and I had promised that I would be off the air. Selfish question.
Why is
Feedback
that
on the
selfish?
hardcover design. Tyler,
was he involved?
Tyler, were you involved in creation of this?
I love the design. Where you got the map in the beginning, and the end pages is fabulous. The book is as far as how it was constructed, is beautiful. I didn't have a bit of problems. I think the lettering here is fabulous. I'm so happy with that. Yeah. I mean, and the art design of everything, how it's tied together with these colors, is beautiful.
Comic Crafts Tyler Smith, book design. Freaking frick,
well, I love
Tyler.
it.
Yeah, we love it.
Absolutely. It's just perfect from start to finish. And no dust jacket either. So,
are you a dust jacket hater like your daughter?
Well, I much prefer this. Just put it right on the board. Absolutely.
Wow, Tyler works for Comic Craft. That's amazing. Yeah, Tyler, it's gorgeous.
Well, if he's ever somewhere where he can sign this, I'll have him sign it because
that'd be cool.
Fabulous. Good job.
Yeah, very nicely done, Tyler.
Mm-hmm.
As far as the Frosty goes, you could DoorDash it more easily as the leading expert on Spanish. Yeah, the DoorDasher was telling Cycle everything that was happening, only it was in Spanish, and he was not understanding. But I got the right thing, Cycle, so that's what counts. Yeah, Kane's a big fan too, Tyler. Nice.
Yeah, it's excellent. Yeah.
Yeah, it gets 10 out of 10 too, especially this map.
Yeah, I really like the spine as well. Yeah, it's all good.
They dox you here in the back of the book, Tyler. It says where you live.
And did you notice that it does have a 1 on the spine?
Yeah, Tyler. So wait. LOL. Thanks. Always curious to hear what people think. So if we do a second HC, I can keep some thoughts in mind.
Well, go talk to the people you need to talk to, because we need volume 2.
Yeah.
I mean, some are saying it's not as good, but I still want it.
Yeah. And we need volumes 3, 4, and 5. So Tyler, work your magic and get Busiek going. Tyler, who would you think would be a follow-up artist that Busiek could use? Yeah, there's only one hardcover volume so far.
Yeah.
Tyler, who do you think, since you are in the industry, and who would you think would be a good follow-up artist? I did the lettering in volume 2 and the design for the trade paperback as well. So we have 2 books we need Tyler to sign. Well, that's good. I'm glad I didn't stop the stream before that.
Yeah, nice to know.
Captain Fox, that was his superior's name.
Yeah, that's who I couldn't think of.
Yeah, but he was a good guy.
Yeah,
he wasn't incompetent. He wasn't like an incompetent superior officer. He was quite good. Yeah.
I would like to see his final battle done in the pages, because we don't get to see it here. We only hear about it, but
with the vampires. So we want to see his final battle with the vampires. Grace's encounter with the zombies. We want to know more about Rocky.
I'd like to know more about the dragons too.
And the dragons.
Yeah, I would read a book just about the history of where they first got the idea and then develop it and show how the dragons age and all of that stuff.
Okay, James knows my comic book collection better than I do. You have more than two books to have Tyler sign.
I bet there's probably a whole bunch of stuff on my shelf right now, I bet.
Yeah, we'll have to
now we'll look for that name.
Yeah, well, we'll always check out Comic Craft now. I'm sure I must have other Comic
I've
Craft.
always liked Comic Craft, but it doesn't always tell the names of the people involved with Comic Craft.
Yeah.
Sometimes it does. Yeah.
Kane says, I have the traits for both, and I love the build and design for them. Again, good job, Tyler. Who's the most annoying creator company to work for and why? And unfortunately, Tyler says, no words, Harvey. LOL. His name is also on a Harley Quinn book. Whoa, Tyler. Yeah, I don't blame you for trying. And good for Tyler to not.
Michael wants the dirt. He wants the dirt.
Yeah, no dirt here. His name is also, okay, Omnibo. I had to go and get a tram. Did I miss something about volume 2 and it being hardcover? Looks like did based on comics. We're not, volume 2 is just a trade. Tyler Smith, who's in the chat, designed this book as he is Comic Craft book design. And he also said he just did, on the artist, I'll remain quiet for now, just in case something comes up. Okay. He also did the lettering for volume 2 and the design for the trade paperbacks as well.
So does that mean we're going to get a volume 2?
I know you like Kurt's stuff. I do. So you can keep an eye out there. Okay. Great design, Tyler. Yes, 1,000%. Oh, I don't know. What is that? Is that 1,000,000%? Okay, sure. Spanish edition is incredible. Carlos Pacheco was a great reference in Spain.
I like that avatar on that last comment.
Albars? Oh, yeah, the Clash. I didn't even look.
Yeah.
Famous, yeah. Next Imagineot has looks like starting to be a two-parter. Okay. So I'll wait until you finish, and then we should probably end the show there.
I was going to mention too the parts where they're writing letters in the narration boxes.
Oh yeah,
and that cursive font is actually readable, and I love it because so many times you see a cursive font in comic books, and it's really difficult to read, right? And
yeah,
I thought it was just very clear and nice. So very nice choice. Whoever, I'm sure that was Tyler as well. I guess I don't know, but that I thought it worked really well. I mean, totally readable. I don't know if that's.
Well, let me highlight you. There we go. Yeah, and there you can get a shot of New York City with the flying monkeys and the giant trolls. And all kinds of other creatures just blending in generally with the populace.
Yeah.
Omnibo agrees with you. That's a great point, Larry. NVS has created a font of his own handwriting with variations on letters used at random in order to facilitate reletting for translations. Is that a common practice? Yeah, that's one of our fonts. Kurt knows our font library well. Okay.
Nice. Yeah, Kane's comment at 259. Yeah, I forgot to mention that. I was wishing for a translation too, and a few times I found myself grabbing my phone and putting it in so I could figure out what they were saying. But I didn't do that every time because it would have taken forever, because there was a lot of French in here, and so I could have done with some translation a few times. But it didn't hurt it too much, but I would have enjoyed some translation.
Yeah, and actually there's a historical point in here that I can highlight. In the prelude, when the wizard's trying to figure out new weapons, and he contacts immediately the general who's his superior, and this looks like Charles de Gaulle to me. So I'm assuming that's Charles de Gaulle, the sort of the general. He was a prime minister or what president of France after World War II. So I thought that was an interesting reference. Okay, so we have next Imagine. The other major credit that I think deserves to be paid is to Frank Miller, for completely reinventing his style, both in response to his aging and the motor skill deterioration wrought by his years of addiction issues and ostensible disease, into what I still contend is a fascinating and wildly expressive late career style.
Is that why he got more blocky and more silhouettes and more negative space and all that? Because he couldn't do the more intricate details that he used to do? I'm guessing that's what he means. Interesting. I hadn't thought of that as a reason, but that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I appreciate everybody, and appreciate everybody's comments. I appreciate everybody that read the book and joined the chat. I certainly appreciate Larry. Great contribution as usual, and thank you for the slides. Thank you to everyone. Sorry?
This was fun, so thank you.
This was fun. I love book club, and you and I will put our heads together and figure out what next month's is. And thank you, Kane, for joining. It was good to have you here.
Yeah.
So, we'll figure out what the next book club is and let everybody know. So thanks to everyone that participated. Peace and love. And you find Larry at Larry's Library. There's a link down below in the description box, so you can go and talk to Larry, find his stuff. He's way more prolific than I am, and I salute him for that. Oh, and here's the third one for OmniDog's Vol. To me, he's been unfairly maligned for over 20 years for this departure into this crude and nightmarishly absurd and grotesque style, and honestly find it far... I don't know. Okay, here's my Discord. Please come to the Discord and see all the great creations. Here's Larry's Library.
Thank you, James.
Zeppelin. I think I'm trying to wait for next Imagine. Do your last comment, buddy, and then we'll finish. Let's see. My schedule is Monday and Wednesday. I'm on OmniBros at 8 o'clock this week. Thursday, I'm on Very Fine Condition at 1 p.m. And then the theater goes dark for the weekend because we're having guests. Yes, we're allowing people into our home, so I have to be on my best behavior. But they're old friends of ours, so it won't be an issue.
Won't be too bad.
Yeah. Okay, so we agree. Frank Miller reinvented himself, and next Imaginaut digs him and doesn't appreciate the unfair criticism. I finished it for you there. Next Imaginaut. There we go.
There we go.
Thank you for tuning in. Why don't you just give me a call on the phone, Harvey, and you and I can talk for 80 minutes. We're best friends by now. So peace and love, peace and love. Wait, one more for Kane. Okay, there we go. Thank you to everyone. Peace and love, peace and love.